Hello everyone, and welcome to another message from Dave's office. On Sunday we looked at Hebrews 10 verses 19 to 25, and I'm going to explore just a little bit further one of those verses, and that's verse 24. It says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds." So it's about encouraging each other to be encouragers and to help those around us to grow in love and to grow in love practically in terms of practically blessing others. But I wanted to tackle it from kind of the other side today, so it's slightly differently to how we looked at it on Sunday. And to help me do that, we're going to look a little bit at the kind of the story of David and Goliath. Not the whole thing though, just the first bit, the bit that maybe we glean over quickly, and then we get onto the fighting bit which we all love. So let's have a look at 1 Samuel 17 verses 20 to 28. 1 Samuel 17, 20 to 28. I'm just going to read that to you. "Early in the morning, David left the flock in the care of a shepherd, loaded up, and set out as Jesse had directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle positions, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines, facing each other. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines and asked his brothers how they were. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance, and David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear." Now, the Israelites had been saying, "Do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. He will also give him his daughter in marriage and will exempt his family from taxes in Israel." David asked the men standing near him, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him, "This is what will be done for the man who kills him." When Eliab, David's eldest brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave these few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle." So we'll leave that one there. Imagine that. So David is coming to see his brothers at this point. He's been sent by his father Jesse to take supplies and to send word back to his father as to how his brothers are doing. Jesse is concerned. How's it going on the front line? He only knows there is a battle going on and that David's brothers are there as part of it, and he wants to know if they're okay. So he sends David along to find that out. And when David goes there, he comes across this situation. He sees Goliath coming out and shouting defiance against the Israelites. And there's a couple of interesting things here. One is how the Israelites have been thinking and talking. So in verse 25, the Israelites have been saying, "Do you see how this man," that is Goliath, "keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel." And I'll just stop that there. And yet David, later on, he says, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" So these Israelites, up to this point, had forgot about God, but David hadn't. Now David's a shepherd, and he is there protecting sheep, not where he is at this point, but he had been protecting sheep. And we're like, what has he been doing all this time? Well, protecting the sheep, as he was charged to do, and protecting them from bears and lions. And so this Goliath chap is someone that David sees very much in the same way. And here he's finding out about what to do and how to kind of approach the situation. And instead of someone thinking, here's a guy that might be able to face Goliath. All of us are afraid apart from this chap. We have some hope here now. This is good. This is encouraging. Yes, David, come along and see what you can do. It'll be just great because we're all scared. No, his eldest brother comes and just lays into him. He has a go at him. And, well, I don't know about you, but if someone close to you, someone who knows you well, came to you and just laid into you in this similar way, how would that make you feel? Would you stay determined? Do you think you could carry it through? See, one of the things that this COVID-19 situation and lockdown has done for a number of people is it makes them weary, wears them down slowly over time. And so when you are feeling like that, and then along comes this smack of discouragement, you just don't want to kind of carry on with that thing. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just leave it then. But what about the opposite? What about if someone came and spurred you on and encouraged you? Imagine if Eliab had came to David and said, actually, David, great that you're here. Let's see what we can do to help you battle Goliath. And then there's David himself. So David himself came with encouragement from God. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? That statement, for those that are hearing, is an encouragement, is a spurring on. It's like someone saying, God is with you. You belong to him. You can do it. Maybe you don't feel like it, but because of Jesus in you, you can do it. Come on. And we are, trying to encourage one another at this time, to spur one another on, to bless one another, to encourage each other in Christ, as part of what Nigel and I have been doing over these last months. But it's not just about a keeping going. It's about a pressing in and a strengthening, and how we can now encourage one another to keep going. Colossians 2, verse 2 and 3 says this. This is Paul writing, and he's saying, my goal is that they may be encouraged in heart and united in love. So Paul is writing this stuff so that they may be encouraged in heart and united in love, so that they may have the full riches of complete understanding, in order that they may know the mystery of God, namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. So Paul's goal is that they, and we can take this for ourselves, that we are encouraged in heart and mind through what Paul is writing. And as I finish this message today, I want to, try and encourage you this morning, and indeed be encouraged myself. After this, this message goes into a song called The Creed, and you may know it well. I hope you do. But have another listen. Have a listen afresh to it, that you may be encouraged in Christ, in what he's done for you, and in your faith in him. May he strengthen you today to be an encourager of others, rather than like Eliab, who just slams David. Let's not be like that. Let's be encouragers of one another. So I hope you have a great day today, and may God bless you richly. Let's listen to this song. Bye for now.